Has Stripe held 25 or 30% of your money or suspended your account for a review? Well, if that's the case, then stop letting them hold your business ransom. Listen up. I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can move your credit card processing away from Stripe without losing money and without losing your customer data. Now, I know this can be a really frantic time, and if you listen to the end, I'm sure that you're going to have some solutions and you're going to get your business back up and running very quickly. First of all, if Stripe is just a temporary review or keeping, 10 to 30% of your money, the most important thing for you to do is to look for an alternate processor. Now, if Stripe has shut down your account and you're kind of scrambling and looking for another solution, I'm going to link an episode down below of what you can do in that case. So this episode is really for people who are in the review process or if Stripe's holding a lot of your money. Now, if you have subscriptions or repeat customer purchases, this is even more important because you definitely don't want to be losing any of that recurring revenue. Now, the first thing that you're going to need to do is keep in mind that even if magically Stripe reopens your account or stops holding funds or, kind of continues business as usual, you should take this as a warning. Do not just continue operating as usual. You don't want to have a bottleneck in your business. You don't want to have one provider holding your business ransom if something goes wrong. So heed this as a warning and make sure that you get yourself a backup payment processor, because not being able to accept credit cards, it will literally destroy your business overnight. So this is a huge problem for most businesses, and not having a backup is a major issue. Just like, you would have backup servers and backup employees and backup things, a backup payment processor is a must for most online businesses. So heed this as a warning. Even if Stripe turns you back on, make sure that you get yourself a backup right away. A company like Direct Paynet, which is my company, we help, online businesses get payment processing. So you can check out our contact information below if you need help. But any payment processor can work, and you can go ahead and just start an online application and get yourself a backup payment processor. Now, keep in mind, if you do get a backup payment processor, it is very important that you put some volume into that backup payment processor. So don't just open it and leave it dormant forever. Some processors shut down accounts after 60 days. Some will shut them down if the volume is very low, depending on what forecasts you put in there. So you want to be putting, 20 to 30% of your sales volume into your backup, so you're able to kind of go back and forth. For example, if you still want to continue using Stripe and having a viable backup. Now, once you do have a new account with another payment processor, you're probably wondering, well, how do I kind of move some clients over to this new payment processor? How do I move my subscription records over so I don't get caught, with my pants down if Stripe shuts me down again or whatever the case is? Now, you could ask Stripe to move their Stripe tokens. They call them Stripe tokens, but it's just basically customer records to another processor. Keep in mind, Stripe will not send them to you specifically because there are obviously data security and privacy concerns, but they can send them over or transfer them over to another PCI compliant payment processor. So any PCI compliant payment processor, like the processors we work with at Direct Paynet or other providers, other gateway providers and so forth, can accommodate this. So we would basically be in touch with Stripe and we would move all the customer records over to the new gateway. And then you would be able to obviously continue your subscriptions as is or continue billing customers. If you have a lot of customer records and a lot of repeat orders, you definitely want the customer information to be in your new gateway. Now, one thing, I always like to give you guys a bonus. One extra bonus tip that I really highly recommend is looking into vaulting your customer information. What that is, a vault is basically just a software that encrypts customer information and holds it into like a token. And then you're able to use it at any processor that you want. So you can take that token and send it to Stripe or send it to another processor. That way, if you're, vaulting all your customer information, you can go to different providers and never have an issue with, being stuck at one payment processor or losing your customer data. Now, most gateways and most payment processors offer vaulting systems within, obviously, their gateway. But if you wanted to kind of be agnostic and not be tied to anyone in particular, there are third-party vaulting softwares. You can reach out to me and we can have a quick chat and I can tell you which one might work best for your business. But a third-party vault, all it will do is it's simply a software. It's PCI compliant. You always have to make sure it's PCI compliant, which is, a data compliance standard. And you put all your customer data in there, and then you can charge at different processors. You can move payment processors. If you don't like pricing or the terms and conditions of one processor, you're not stuck there because your customer data is portable. So those are a couple of steps that you should do. And it's very important, especially important, like I said, and I have to stress, if you have subscription revenue, to really think about vaulting your credit card information, your customer data, so you're able to move it wherever you go. And if you are working with Stripe and they are giving you a hard time, even if they're not holding any money or if they're not suspending your account, you need to think about this. Like I said, as a warning, you should get yourself a backup. Every business, operation should have a backup, especially something as integral as payment processing, something that could literally close your business down overnight if it's not done properly. So I hope you got a lot from this episode. I'm going to link down below, like I said, what to do if Stripe shuts you down, like the first couple of steps. So if you need to, watch that episode preemptively, go ahead and listen up. There's some good advice there. And if you found value in this episode, I ask you to like, subscribe, and share this episode with anybody who can see value from it. And I'll see you soon.